Thank you so much for catching your words. They're wonderful words and very inspiring. So thank you. I have been reading a book called Against the Hounds of Hell about Howard Thurman, who was the founder of the Church for the Fellowship of All Peoples, which I go to along with UU. I'm a member of both. I was ordained at the Church for the Fellowship. And Howard Thurman spent his life really fighting prejudice against Blacks. He met Martin Luther King when he was just a little boy. Martin Luther King was a little boy. And that is how he spent his life, really trying to convey that message without ever wanting to talk about race relations. He wanted to talk about Jesus the disinherited, Jesus the rebel, and kind of worked his message around that rather than particularly race relations. But I thought there was one thing he said, and I haven't written a poem about it yet, but I want to. And that was fascinated by his discussion of what comes first in changing society for the good. Is it individuals become morally oriented or the infrastructure itself demanding a moral, ethical framework? And it seems as he came to the conclusion that both processes have to happen congruently. You have to have both really at the same time. An interesting point considering where we are right now with our wonderful government. So something to think about and something I want to write about. But what fascinated me was reading this week was reading about old Ariha, which is supposedly the oldest inhabited city on earth in old Palestine. So I'm going to read that as my major poem. The oldest inhabited city on earth, Ariha of Palestine, also called Riha and Jericho. Its oldest name, Jeriha, meaning perfume, lush city of palms and flowers, settled in 10,000 BCE, abundant with water from fresh springs at Tel al Sultan near the Dead Sea, 400 meters below sea level, warm through the year, visited often by Jesus, historic and present home of numerous monasteries and mosques. The Greek Orthodox monastery of St. George, carved from the Wadi Kelt Gorge, 5th century refuge for hermits, just 20 kilometers south, is Qumran, site of over 2,000 Dead Sea Scrolls, home of the monastery of Essenes, while nearby on the old pilgrim road stands Nabi Musa pilgrimage shrine, where Moses, called Musa, is said to be buried. We remember old Palestine, its unpaved road trod by Jesus, fought over by Rome, now home to countless artifacts, now home to countless memories, to numerous monasteries and mosques, destiny for countless pilgrims, revering the burial site of Moses, walking the road Jesus walked, to lush and verdant Ariha, Riha, Jeriha, meaning perfume, old Jericho, the oldest inhabited city on earth. So, and now I'm going to read to you something. I'm just going to open up from my book, The Sound of Stars. So it opens up to Greeks on a Flat World. Greeks on a flat world, contended with countless metaphors, a flat meadow entrenched on four sides with mingling souls under Mount Olympus, obscure barriers between gods and mortals, stories repeated in countless forms, re-emerging as an echoed truth. Athens, Sparta, Egypt, diverging in art, glowing Hellenistic forms created for love, versus rigid Egyptian giants of Ramses, created for fear and slavery, oceans and rivers bearing witness, bearing gods, gods mirroring mortals, or hidden away in secret corners, describing an eternal journey, an ancient world, our treasure, our dust, our gold, to dig out and reawaken in gods, in humanity, in words. And I'll read one more. This is balance and homes. Animals find balance in nature. Hawks seek small prey and are chased by crows away. Crows or other birds lend voices to warn the forest creatures of danger. Fish reside on other fish to clean their scales, absorbing nourishment while they restore their larger brothers. Squirrels retrieve nuts to distribute as they fuel themselves or store away for another day, or perhaps for another creature in need of a snack. Even as fire threatens the forest, its creatures know to help each other. Seldom do we hear of one animal encroaching on another to its detriment, robbing it of its ability to care for itself and its family, except in our world of human animals, who through generations prey upon their brethren, occupy the land of others, like a cuckoo bird sits on another's nest, replacing an egg with one of its own, an anomaly in the animal kingdom, once vilified by the story of Hortense the elephant, who saved a bird's egg from pilfering by sitting on its nest for days on end, creating the words children say today, an elephant's faithful 100%. Yet we human beings take over others' land and homes, regardless of the price for stealing another's nest. We have not learned to be faithful to one another, faithful to our own ideas of justice and kindness, so we may all live in our homes without fear, today, tomorrow, and forever. Thank you.